There's been some controversy online about how these are coming in, and people are kind of upset about the way they've seen them once they open. And spoiler alert, same thing kind of happened to me, so let's take a look. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jose. This is AcreageTCG. We've got something special today. We have the One Piece card game premium card collection best selection volume 6. Let's find out which cards in the premium card collection volume 6 are actually meta staples and which ones are just writing a cool alt art. However, before we get started, we're going to do an unboxing. There's been some controversy online about how these are coming in, and people are kind of upset about the way they've seen them once they open. And spoiler alert, same thing kind of happened to me, so let's take a look. A lot of complaints online about this, so let's see how ours came in. Okay, well, look at that. Looks like everything is just this, the Air Plus, and voila, we've got the premium collection is just kind of sitting there on the cardboard. That's pretty nice there, Bandai. We've got some debris on here. Oh, wonderful. There's like a piece of foil inside the folder. Very nice, Bandai. And, okay, yep, there we go. It looks like some of the cards are all just kind of spilling out there. So that's kind of one of the things that people have been complaining about. You know, the way they pack this, as you saw, it's just floating around in there. I mean, they could have at least, I don't know, maybe wrapped those bubble things around the whole thing instead of just it sitting on the bottom of the box. Basically, very little protection here. But anyway, here's the cards. They look amazing. I mean, I gotta tell you, Bandai makes the most beautiful cards out there. These look so great. All right, so let's open it up. And now that we've kind of went ahead and stamped them down a little bit beforehand, just so that they'd be lined up just right. And so now let's take a look at what we got. So like I said, we're gonna go through each one of these cards, and we're going to actually talk about how meta relevant they are, if they are at all, and what decks they've been used in. First card, this is Eustass Captain Kidd. He is a 4-cost, 5,000 power, 1k counter, and he's a blocker, and his on play is if your leader has the Supernova's type, play up to one red character card with 2,000 power or less from your hand. This is a 4-cost blocker that cheats out a free small supernova, and it's built for exactly one deck, Trafalgar Law Supernova Rushdown. Law swaps power between two of his supernovas to sneak in a huge surprise hit, and Kidd is the 4-of that fuels the board while blocking on defense. Next up, we've got Straw Hat Crew Sanji. He is a 2-cost, 3,000 power with a 2k counter, and his on play is select up to one of your Straw Hat Crew type characters with 6,000 power or more. If the selected character attacks during this turn, your opponent cannot activate blocker. So this is one of the better cards in the set, probably going to be used in the new Luffy deck. The decks that it's currently used in is the Red Shanks, the Luffy from OP13, and the ST10 Luffy, Whitebeard, the ST21 Luffy, of course, the PRB01 Sanji, and the OP01 Law, although, you know, obviously some of those are pretty old leaders there. And he's got the same role everywhere. Guarantee a big Straw Hat attacker connects to close the game. 19 months after release, this is still being used in official tournaments. You know, Utrecht, Toronto, Barcelona, Warsaw, Sao Paulo Regionals, Treasure Cups. And it's one of the strongest frequently used cards in this box. Usually a 1 or 2 copy finisher, and it's closing out games 19 months after it was printed. Next card is Zoro. So this is a 4-cost, 5,000 power with a 1k counter. On play, if your leader has the Film or Straw Hat Crew type, set up to 2 of your Dawn cards as active, and at the end of your turn, set this character as active. So this is actually pretty cool. I really love this card. My son and I got the Learn Together set, and I just really loved the way that green deck played, and that was my main for a really long time. Right now I'm trying out the blue-green Luffy, but I still always go back to Zoro. It's super fun. And so this obviously is for the green Zoro from OP12, and it is a 4-of. You have to run it in that deck. It's one of the most important cards in there. And so Zoro's leader ability is to get he needs 3 Dawn, and he can restand the double attack. This lets you set 2 of those Dawn as active. So, you know, whenever you play this, Usually, the way you play this is you use the 3-cost Drackle Mihawk that lets you cheat this out. So you play this out as rested, you get those 2 down, and then at the end of the turn, he restands himself. There's no way he can be attacked on the opposing player's turn. Back when that Zoro leader came out, it was very strong card, very strong leader, and nowadays, you know, not so strong. I feel like it's still a very fun deck to play because you really can beat some of the meta decks. It's just, if you get the right cards, you can win. So it's a fun deck. Definitely very fun to play. And this is a real staple. 98% of competitive green Zoro decks run 4 copies of this card because it refunds 2 Dawn the turn it drops and then restands itself every single turn. It never permanently taps out. And Bandai clearly agrees it matters. They reprinted this exact card as a treasure rare alt art, $300 raw, and over 1,000 graded. I think it's actually even more now. I haven't checked. Our next card is an event card. It's called For Fun, and it's obviously for Mihawk. He's right here. And the main is you may rest 3 of your cards, KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with 7,000 base power or less. And on defense, you can counter. Your leader gains 3,000 power during this battle. The deck that this goes in is Green Drackle Mihawk, the leader from OP14. This is the only confirmed home built for it. Mihawk's leader ability refreshes Dawn by resting a card, which is exactly the fuel this needs. The cost is something the deck wants to do anyway. The key combo is Shanks, rest an enemy character down to killable, then this finishes it. Per Bandai's official strategy feature. This is 100% inclusion, at least a one-of. This is a 1-cost removal event built specifically for Green Mihawk. Rest 3 cards, kill a rested character with 7,000 power or less. It was a tier 1 piece at launch, winning regionals in early 2026, but it's still a good example of how fast this format moves. It's a slid to tier 2 because Mihawk just hasn't gotten really a lot of new support. There's the new Zoro ST coming out soon, and a lot of people are kind of making fun because a lot of the cards that came out for that are probably going to go into a Mihawk deck. Next card we have is Otama. Otama's a 1-drop that draws you 2 cards the second your life hits 3 or fewer, and there's one deck where that's not a maybe, it's guaranteed. This is Red Blue Ace, and that's the deck that this is run in, 100%. Red Blue Ace starts the game at 3 life, so this card is active from turn 1, and it's a 100% inclusion in that deck. Ice Time. Now this is pretty cool because Blue Kuzan is actually getting a starter deck coming up soon. This might be seen there, but I don't know, probably not. However, the card does look amazing, beautiful. This obviously only works for Blue Kuzan, Navy Control deck, which is OP12. However, nobody's actually really running this card for Kuzan. Limitless shows 0 log tournament decks running this card, and this is definitely the never frequently used fit out of these 12 cards. So honestly, this card only works if your leader's Navy type, which really means one deck, Blue Kuzan. But when I checked Limitless's tournament tracker, it shows 0 log deck list running this card. The only place I found it actually played is a more recent community build Kuzan list running 3 copies. If Bandai's whole pitch for this box is frequently used, this is the one card that really doesn't back that up. Okay, our next card is Thor. This is from OP15 and number 75. It is a 0-cost event, and the main is Dawn -1. If your leader is Enel, up to one of your leader or character cards gains 1,000 power during this turn, then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. The counter is up to one of your Enel cards gains plus 2,000 power during this battle. And this obviously goes in Purple Enel, the leader for OP15. The only deck that this gets to use it, and this is definitely a 100% 4-of inclusion in that deck. It feeds the deck's Dawn recycling engine while doubling as cheap removal or as a power boost for your other NL cards. And this is the number 1 leader in the standard format. This is 100% a meta-relevant card. NL is probably the best deck in the game right now. With the wins at Bielefeld, Toronto, Utrecht, Toulouse, Toronto again, and Lille, but this is the opposite end of the spectrum, and it's a 4-of in basically 100% of Purple Enel decks, which right now is the single best performing leader in the entire game. This card is in the best deck in the Piece TCG today. Next card is Buggy. So Buggy's from OP13. This is a 2-cost character that only works if your leader is Roger Pyrus typed. which means it's built entirely for Goldie Roger. Early game, it accelerates you towards that deck's big 10-down turn. Late game, once ramping doesn't matter anymore, players actually just hold it as a searchable defense counter instead. It is 2k and you can search for it. And his on play is if your leader's type includes Roger Pirates and you have any Dawn cards given, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. So basically just ramping. Next up, we've got Saint Mjosgard. Saint Mjosgard is a 2-cost, 2k, 0-power character for the Celestial Dragons. This is a cheap character that can bring back a specific 1-cost stage cards from your trash, and it lives exactly in one deck, Black Emu, which is built around cheating a 10-cost board wipe into play for almost nothing. Most players will tell you they run this less for that ability and more because it's just a solid searchable 2000 counter. Which, yeah, I mean, you need 2k counters. You know, most decks, they don't run stage removal, so once you get that stage card, you don't really need it for the on-play effect, so you just keep it as a 2k counter. Black Emu is kind of out of the meta now, but back in its day, Black Emu was what Purple Enel is now, the most ran deck in the game, I should say. Our next card is Disappointed. This is a 1-cost event. So this is only found in the Black Crocodile Baroque Works leader. This is from OP14. And Crocodile KOs its own units to deef up opponents and trash cards to fuel Baroque Works on KO payoffs. This card is a full 4 of in essentially every competitive list. You're going to use this as your searcher to find Miss Valentine, Miss All Sunday, Mr. 2, Mr. 1, and then whatever you don't want goes into trash. And it has a trigger, and this activates its main effect. So even if this is in your life, it's still useful. You know, it's gotten second place at a regional Toronto and Barcelona. Top 32 finishes, all the way from OP14 to now, OP16. There's no evidence of being played in any other deck. This is just a Crocodile card. Next up, we've got Scratchmen Apoo. So this is from OP10, card number 108. He's a 1-cost, 1000 power with a 1k counter. If you have a yellow Supernovas type character other than Scratchmen Apoo, this character gains blocker. Yellow Captain Kid is actually getting a new starter deck coming up, so this is probably going to be seen a lot more. Apoo's a 1-cost body that becomes a free extra blocker the moment any other yellow Supernova is on board, and it's been a 4 of in the Yellow Kid Fortress deck since it was printed over a year ago. That is the longest, most consistent history of any card in this whole box. Same deck, same role from OP10 all the way through today. And finally, our last card is the Sky Island Nami. Dig for 3 for anything Sky Island, and it's the consistency piece in 2 separate yellow decks, Sky Island Luffy and Yellow Kalgara. In Sky Island Luffy, it's a 4 of digging for mid-game stabilizers and late finishers. In Kalgara, it does the same job while that deck ramps into its Don cheat plays. And like I said, this is seen in Sky Island Luffy, the leader from OP15, full 4 of, and it lets you look for your Kalgara, your Wiper, and your Luffy and your Enel. And then it's, Yellow Luffy had like a pretty big surgence there for a little while, but now it's kind of fallen off. And then Yellow Kalgara does the same thing, lets you search for some of the other cards. And those 2 leaders are kind of fallen off. So, out of the 12 card Bandai calls frequently used, most of them are in that title. A couple are the backbone of the best deck in the game right now. One of them honestly barely shows up anywhere, but that's the real competitive story behind the Premium Card Collection Volume 6. Let me know which one of these you're pulling for your own deck. I know I might just, if I'm able to get maybe 2 more of these Zoros, I might just run this in my deck. We'll see how that goes. Thank you for joining us in this first look. I didn't open it up because, frankly, unless I can get 2 more of these, I see no reason to not keep this sealed because these cards are they just look too good. Thank you for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. One small click from you means the world to us. We love you. Goodbye. See you on the next one.